Darth, Theorist, rise. What if Anakin consulted Padme before reporting Palpatine to Mace? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. As Anakin leaves the Chancellor's office, his head swirls at the information that had just been given to him by Palpatine. He's been the Sith Lord all this time. That means everything they've had to deal with, the war, the suffering, Qui-Gon's death, all of that was because of him. His fingers clench into a fist as he feels his hatred growing by the second. He wanted to become a Jedi to save people from suffering, to prevent this type of thing from happening, and the man responsible for all that pain was the man he had been proud to call a mentor. Some part of him wants to go inside right now and simply kill him, but the more logical part reminds him that that would do nothing. And there is the simple question of Padme. She could still die at any moment, with the child just around the corner. Palpatine is offering the opportunity to save her and prevent all his loved ones from dying. While he might now question many things about Palpatine, there is no denying his power. As they talked, Anakin felt for the first time just how deep Palpatine's connection was with the Force. It was almost overwhelming to take in, and left him forced to step back. If there is a chance that he's telling the truth, then shouldn't he take it? There will be time to destroy him after. This, along with 100 other questions, runs through his mind and leaves Anakin grappling to try and make sense of each one. The Jedi leans against the wall and wishes more than ever to talk to someone about this. The Jedi Council is out of the question, as is Ahsoka, who is on Mandalore. And then he sees her face. Before Anakin even realizes what he's doing, he leaves a message to Padme, pleading with her to talk. He soon finds her leaving her office, her brow furrowed as she received Anakin's message.
Annie? What's wrong?
It's Palpatine. He's the Sith Lord. It's always been him. He just told me.
What? No, that can't be right. How can that be?
Before he even realizes it, the story starts to spill out of him as Anakin reveals the interactions they've had together. That includes Palpatine's revelation and his promise to provide Anakin with the powers to keep those he loves alive. For a moment, the young Jedi hesitates, but then adds his own dreams and what he saw. By the time he finishes, Padme looks stricken. Her face goes pale as she stares at Anakin, trying to make sense of everything she's just heard. Slowly, that confusion and shock are replaced with determination as she squares her jaw.
Anakin, it seems that the Chancellor is manipulating you. He's been manipulating you this entire war. We have to remove him from power before he manipulates the galaxy and plunges it into darkness.
I know. Believe me, nothing would make me happier than the chance to drive my lightsaber into his heart. But how can I do that when he offers to teach me the ways to save you? What about my vision? What about you dying?
How sure are you that those are your visions? That it's the future and not just your fears speaking to you? That's assuming he even knows these powers. Palpatine has lied to you before. Are you sure he isn't lying to you again?
So, what now? I'm just supposed to risk your life? To turn him in and hope it doesn't condemn you to death?
You don't have to hope for anything, Anakin. I will come back, and you can count on that. I promise you.
When this is over, you know the Jedi won't be pleased. They'll turn their attention on us, and we'll be punished.
If that's the worst of our problems, I'll consider us lucky. But if it comes to that, then I'll know we'll face it together.
She leans over and kisses him on the cheek. For the first time, Anakin begins to breathe easier and truly believes in what Padme is saying. Taking a deep breath, he promises to come back for her as he heads to the Jedi Temple. When Mace Windu hears about this, he thanks Anakin for the information, but insists that he remain here while he deals with Palpatine. Although Anakin is eager to confront him as well, he cannot disobey an order directly from Mace and reluctantly agrees. Taking a strike team of Jedi Masters, Mace leaves Anakin alone in the temple. But although his conscience might be clear, his heart is still conflicted, pounding with the question of whether or not he made the right decision, and whether Palpatine will truly be safe after the decision he made. He spends his time pacing the floor of the council chambers, asking himself whether he made the right decision. At times, the selfish desire to disobey Mace Windu resurfaces, to storm the Chancellor's office and confront them. As to who he would confront, he's not certain, but all he knows is that it would be better than staying here. However, each time that thought crosses his mind, he reminds himself of what Padme told him, that they are here to serve the Republic first and foremost, and whatever happens, they will face it together. That means Anakin should not feel any guilt for what happens next. But as he begins to calm down, his comm crackles to life, and there's a buzz on the landing pad as the strike team returns. Anakin hurries down the landing pad to confront them, and there he finds Mace stepping off the gunship alone. His robe is torn, and there are burns and lacerations across his face. He also walks with a visible limp. However, his expression is alert, and when he looks to Anakin, his eyes narrow suspiciously. It stops Anakin in his tracks as he looks at him in surprise.
Master, what happened? Palpatine has been defeated. He will not trouble the galaxy with his presence any longer. However, Masters Fisto, Kalar, and Tin paid for that victory with their lives. Master Windu, I'm sorry, but their sacrifices will not be in vain. Without Palpatine, the Sith are gone, and we can end this war. There is something I wish to speak to you about. You see, before he passed, Palpatine revealed the most interesting thing. He claimed that he had offered to train you in the ways of the dark side. Yes, that is true. I told you as much. He wished for me to be his new student, to replace Dooku, and serve as his enforcer for his new empire. But what you didn't mention is what he offered. It wasn't power or influence in the galaxy. It was knowledge. Forbidden knowledge of how to cheat death. Not for yourself, but for the one you love most. Senator Amidala. Master, do not deny it, Skywalker. He said it with his last breath, and the look on your face tells me enough. You broke the Jedi Code, and that is what nearly caused you to turn. It confirmed what we feared the most.
Anakin tries to speak and defend himself. He wants to protest, but the words die in his mouth as he's left staring at the Jedi Master in disbelief. Anger, shock, and frustration all burning within himself and threatening to reduce his body to cinders. Yet all Mace does is give him a curt dismissal, saying that the Jedi Council shall decide his fate. Word of Palpatine's death spreads quickly, and many Jedi return from the front to discuss their plans moving forward. There is much to do despite their victory. Though they did triumph over the Sith, they still murdered the Chancellor, and the Senate is furious at this, demanding answers. Not to mention, there is still the war going on, as the remnants of the CIS leadership are gathering their forces on Mustafar. And then there is Anakin. Regarding the Chosen One, the Jedi Council is split. Some, like Obi-Wan and Plo Koon, defend him furiously. Though Anakin did break the Jedi Code, at the end of the day, he made the right decision and brought balance to the Force. For them, that is enough to prove his innocence. Yet others are not so quick to forgive his crimes. Although Mace did thank him for his help, he also realizes that the situation was caused in part because of Anakin's attachment. Palpatine only got this far because he was able to play with Anakin's fears and love. In the end, they conclude that Anakin must leave the Jedi Order, that they will not condemn him, but they cannot allow him to set a bad example for the future Jedi Order. When Anakin hears this, his expression grows stormy.
After everything I've done for the Jedi Order, they now order me to leave?
I know it is difficult. It is an injustice to your role in this war, but there are those in the Jedi Council who cannot let you deceive them.
Yes. My shortcomings and mistakes. The same things they enjoy to remind me of over and over again, as if I'm not aware of them myself, Master. I know what I did, and I know that at the end of the day I made the right decision. And now I know that despite it all, I am to be discarded once I'm no longer of use.
I wish it did not have to be this way. If you ask me, I'm prouder than ever to have called you my student. I know you've struggled, and I know you've faltered in your virtues, yet in this regard, you made the right call. However, the fact remains that you lied to them and hid this fact for years. They cannot overlook it.
So this is it then?
Not at all, my friend. Although you may no longer be a Jedi, you will always be my brother.
Don't look so excited. The Jedi Temple is going to get a lot quieter once I'm gone.
And your home is going to get much louder. I suppose this makes me Uncle Kenobi now.
The two men share a laugh and clasp each other's shoulders as they part way. Although Anakin is initially upset, he begins to feel a bit better, and his mood only improves further when he joins Padme in the medical center, where she gives birth to her children, the twins. But even with Anakin gone, the Jedi must still contend with the furious Senate. In the aftermath of Palpatine's death, Mas Amedda takes command as acting chancellor. While the Jedi present security footage of their battle, which proves that Palpatine is a Sith Lord, there is still fear regarding the nature of his mission. Not only was the Chancellor killed, but was also done so without a trial, and many senators fear the Jedi might grow too comfortable with taking actions like this. Senators shout across the rotunda, some demanding the Jedi be stripped of command, others calling for their immediate deployment against the Separatists. Mas Amedda sits high upon the Chancellor's podium, his tongue flicking nervously as he slams his staff against the floor to restore order. Yet the argument persists. Only one voice cuts through the noise. Padme Amidala rises from her pod, calm and steady despite the storm. Despite the scandal of her recent birth of Anakin's children, she decides to continue showing her face.
We cannot afford to tear ourselves apart while the Separatists remain a threat. Like many, I oppose the conduct of any sort of extrajudicial killings. I understand the Jedi make a bold move and may set a dangerous precedent by doing this. But let us look at what the Jedi did not do. The Jedi did not seize power. They did not execute anyone innocent, and they did not abuse their position of power. They struck down a Sith Lord who had deceived us all. If we prosecute them further, we will cripple the very defense of this republic.
Her words sway enough senators to quiet the calls for trials. Reluctantly, the chamber agrees. The Jedi will retain their command, but under scrutiny. The Republic demands they end the war swiftly, and the Jedi will see it done. This prevents them from being tried as criminals, but leaves them unable to leave and return to their traditional role. The decision filters quickly to the temple. Masters stand uneasy in silence, aware they are tolerated, not trusted. They bow their heads, accept the charge, and redeploy their forces. Meanwhile, far across the stars, the Separatist Council convenes on Mustafar. Holograms of Nute Gunray, Wat Tambor, and other leaders flicker around the obsidian chamber, their voices laced with panic.
With Dooku gone, with Grievous gone, the Republic will come after us.
Not if we break them first. The prototype is operational. Its laser will not shatter planets, but it will shatter fleets. If we unleash it now, the Republic will have no choice but to negotiate.
There is hesitation, fear, but desperation outweighs it. One by one, they nod. Weeks later, the Outer Rim sieges persist, and the Republic presses deeper into CIS space. Though they continue to resist, it seems like victory is within their grasp. Not realizing that behind enemy lines, ships begin to shift and alter directions, moving towards a contested system in the Midrim. A shadow emerges behind a gas giant, a massive cannon mounted on a ship. Unfinished, but functional. Its super laser dish glows sickly green, power surging through its conduits. As the clash continues between the ships, the cannons aim. The beam ignites. In an instant, a Venator-class Star Destroyer erupts into fire, split down the middle as though carved by a god's hand. This causes chaos in the Republic fleet as they scramble to organize their forces. However, a few minutes later the cannon powers up again, and another ship buckles, breaking apart under the impact. Thousands of lives vanish in seconds. The CIS rally and bear down on the ship, forcing their vessels to scatter. The survivors scatter in horror, sending frantic transmissions back to Coruscant. Their message is clear. The Separatists wield a weapon that can drag this war out and hopefully force the Republic to the negotiation table. When Republic intelligence catches word of this, they are stunned and immediately redeploy ships to confront this new threat. However, the CIS understands the value of this weapon and entrusts it only with its best-equipped fleet to escort it around. The ensuing battles prove to be especially bloody, as the Death Star prototype laid waste to their ships. While the CIS suffer heavily keeping the weapon safe, their ships and droids are easily replaceable, unlike the clones in their ships. This allows them to have localized advantages, and anywhere the laser is deployed, it decimates their fleet. Soon, Nute Gunray begins to send terms to the Republic, offering to make peace and dismantle their weapon if the CIS is recognized as a legitimate governing body and they are granted trading concessions. The Republic is infuriated and refuses, but weapons aren't their only tools, and some CIS councils begin leaking secret chats and transmissions between them and Palpatine, showing just how deep the Republic corruption goes, and adding further instability. Everyone knows about Palpatine and Mas Amata's close ties, how they are sure that this isn't part of their scheme to destroy the Republic. This pressure trickles down to the Jedi, who Mas urges to end the war as soon as possible. The same is true for Padme, as she grows worried about the war dragging on and causes more suffering. Although these different factions might have their own goal, they all realize it is in their best interest to end the war as soon as possible. And yet, it is one thing to demand it. It is another to actually accomplish it. The Jedi organize 3 offenses to try and destroy the CIS weapon, but these are beaten back. Mas Amata slams his staff against the marble floor of the council chamber. The sound reverberates like a cannon blast. His tongue flicks in agitation, eyes burning with accusation.
The Senate grows restless. 3 offenses, 3 failures. Clones slaughtered, fleets annihilated. The people whisper that the Jedi want this war to continue. I urge you. No, I demand you end this before the Republic tears itself apart.
The Jedi Masters sit in silence. The shadow of mistrust hangs over them heavier than any battle.
There is one who has done this before. One who has destroyed Separatist superweapons when all others failed. The malevolence, the blockade over Naboo. both undone by Anakin. If anyone can infiltrate that monstrosity and cripple it, it is him.
Skywalker is no longer one of us. He hides bitterness in his heart. To entrust him now would be reckless.
Reckless or necessary? You know as well as I that he is our best hope. He has never failed in missions of this kind.
In anger, clouded his path is. But truth, Master Kenobi speaks. Needed his skill may be.
Then summon him. If you will not act, then the Senate will find someone who will.
Obi-Wan nods and sends a message to Anakin, who now seeks out a simple life on Naboo. He serves in the Royal Palace, helping maintain their Starfighter Corps. Yet, he is happy. For the first time, he does not need to hide his marriage to Padme, and the people there still see Anakin as a hero, recalling how he helped save Naboo many times. Now he can simply focus on spending time with his new family. Yet, even his peaceful life cannot smother the anger that brews in his chest. The sting of betrayal from the Jedi Order continues to linger, casting a shadow over his otherwise idyllic life. So when the message from Obi-Wan arrives, offering to let him rejoin the Order again comes, he does not accept.
They cast me out, Obi-Wan. Stripped me of everything I gave my life to protect. And now when they're desperate, they come crawling back? No. Find someone else to clean up their mess.
Obi-Wan tries to appeal to him, but the words slide off Anakin's heart as he hardens himself. He bows his head and begs Anakin to reconsider before departing. Mace continues to insist they do not need Skywalker and organizes another attack. Days later, another fleet under Master Plo Koon leaps into hyperspace, determined to take the weapon by force. The transmission that returns is chaos. Fire and static fill the comms as Venators are torn apart, the Death Star's green lance carving through them as though they were paper. Plo's flagship detonates before he can even issue a retreat order. When the reports reach Coruscant, Anakin reads them in silence. His hands tremble as he sees the casualty lists. Men he commanded once. Men who trusted him. Master Plo. One of the few Jedi he had no hatred for. One of the few who had always defended him. His eyes close, and the weight of it crashes down. The hatred he feels for the Jedi slowly disappears and is replaced by shame at the thought that this death might have been preventable if he had done something. That night, he returns to Padme.
Master Plo, he was my friend, and I let him die.
You didn't let them die, Anakin. He made his choice and you made yours. It was just bad luck. No one can blame you for leaving the Jedi Order.
But you never left the Senate, even after they shunned you. Why?
Because I saw my duty there, and you saw your duty to your family.
Did I really see my duty? Or am I just running away? If I do nothing, more will die. They'll keep sending Jedi. Keep throwing clones into that monster's cannon until nothing is left.
Then it seems you have your answer.
Anakin rises, resolved, the fire of old purpose burning through the doubt, anger he's been carrying with him. The next morning, Anakin sends a message to Obi-Wan, promising him that he will help. They move as a single unit across the void. Mace Windu stands at the holotable aboard the flagship, the projection of the prototype station hovering between them like a dark sun. Venators and squadrons wheel around it. Obi-Wan watches Anakin from the corner of his eye. Anakin has been awake for hours, burning through schematics, intercepting and searching for a weak point.
It needs a huge output to charge the laser. If we can disrupt the reactor, we can collapse the whole firing sequence. One good hit and the weapon goes with it. Then we make that moment. We give you cover.
You did this before, Annie. You're not alone.
Mace orchestrates the diversion. As the Republic fleet surges, the Separatist escorts peel off, fighters and capital ships breaking formation to rush at oncoming Republic vessels. With that, an opening forms, and Anakin's squadron threads the needle behind the curtains of battle. He watches the weapon pooling light at the barrel's throat. Then, the dish fires. For a heartbeat, the vacuum itself seems to warp. A screaming column of light lashes out, vaporizing a Republic cruiser into a bloom of flame. On his display, the station's shield flares. A halo of shimmering particles, and then, in the mechanical cadence of destruction, it recedes. The weapon is vulnerable.
Now, Anakin! Now!
Anakin pulls the throttle. Clones behind him peel away, striking at droid fighters and ensuring Anakin has a clear shot. He lines up the shot, and for a breath, the whole of him narrows to the crosshair. Doubt claws at his throat and is mixed with anger. The Jedi Council's cold dismissal, Palpatine's manipulations, and all the anger he's bottled up. The first shot misses and bounces off a shield. He curses. Anakin waited too long, and the shield recycled. He pulls up and circles around for another attack. However, clones scream behind him as some droid fighters pull back and realize what they are up to. Anakin turns back to help them, but the clones shout for him to go. Some cut their engines to slip behind the droid fighters. Yet, despite their defiant cries, it is mixed with the sound of men screaming as they are blown apart. In seconds, most of Anakin's escort is gone. Those thoughts weigh heavily on his mind, as do the thousands of other deaths Palpatine has caused. Their silence is almost deafening, and then, suddenly, his comms crackle.
Trust. Trust yourself. Trust what you know.
You are thinking of your mistakes, Skywalker. Your doubt. That will be the death of you. Do not think of the what-ifs. Only think of what happens now, and what you do know. Like how I know I should have trusted you sooner.
Anakin's heart quickens as he wonders if he's heard right, but then he realizes he did, and his fingers tighten around the controls. Anakin speeds up and circles around the laser as he sees it powering up yet again. He thinks of what he can always reach for, the duty to those who will die if he does nothing. As it begins to glow green, he watches the shield around it shimmer and die. He fires. The leading rounds hit the station like a fist. The proton torpedo hits the laser's massive conduits, leaving the weapon flaring up. Then the hull shudders, a sound like tearing. Then the super laser coughs. The dish shudders, and its final charge collapses back into a starless void. For a second, everything seems to hang. The core detonates. The explosion blooms from within the station, a green flower that blossoms outward. Panels fold in on themselves. Scaffolding collapses like ribs cracking under a fist. Shrapnel tears through the sky. Anakin's canopy fills with light so bright, even his retinas ache. But he keeps his fingers steady, guiding his craft away as the shockwave slams past. With the destruction of the Death Star laser, the CIS Council is now brought low and is forced to enter negotiations. Mace and Padme are not as harsh as they expected. Although some systems are granted independence, those with legitimate grievances, the CIS and their corporations, are punished for their own crimes and forced to accept being forced back into the hold, and their powers stripped away. Meanwhile, Anakin is welcomed back to the Jedi Order as a hero, an offer he accepts. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.